best of them. This is that, the best of sports and the latest reports. You know how it go. Brooklyn. Here with my boy Tyrese. You know how, man. Every sports culture, the high school to the Paralympics to anything you ask from sports in the Brooklyn area. You know how it goes. You know this is what it do. Yeah, this is that game on wheels spinning, giving you light to all of the teams and who's winning. Big Apple Sports, and of course you gotta give course to all of the local stars working and grinding to make it far. The spotlight's on you, know the whole crew is in your corner. Got the dopest interviews, plus the latest sports news. In the New York area, every team gon' make it through. Follow Tyrese for the plays every day. He coached the way to make a star shine, regardless of whether your sports on a court or field. Because the feel of the sports is so surreal. So tie your cleats and tie your sneaks, get ready to be elite. All the viewers grab a seat and watch us give you all the tea into the hottest topics in sports culture to keep it rocking in the best fashion. Whether your biggest rivals are clashing, or the fastest in the race, or the one that takes the cake, Tyrese got the latest scoop on the news in the city play. Every player in every borough got a chance for a referral game on wheels. Woo! From NYU to the big stages, we did it, man.
And the feeling is so
Whether
surreal.
musicians or podcasting,
So lay back and ease your mind and tune into the game on wheels.
keep the game on wheels broadcasting. Yeah. Welcome to the program. Welcome to the program. Pull up a seat.
Well, good afternoon, Tyrese. How you doing?
I'm great, Max. How are you?
Doing good, brother. Doing good.
So for the people that don't know you, I'll give you a chance to introduce yourself. What borough do you represent, and how did you get into skating? Like, what was your earliest memory?
Wow, thank you. My name is Max Suarez, and I'm the owner and founder of MaxLedYouth, where our motto is life lessons through skateboarding. I began skateboarding very late in life, so I started skateboarding at 39 years old.
Wow.
And I guess I had a different perspective in skateboarding since I got in at an older age. And like everything in my skateboard life, everything has just happened generically and just naturally grown. So after a few years of skateboarding, my friends would always see me always helping all of the kids. And they were like, dude, you need to stop fooling around and just start your own company and really teach and reach these kids. And that set me off on a journey to where I am at now, working with children.
Absolutely. With starting Max Led Youth, what ages does your organization cater to? What demographic mostly, and what basic things do you try to teach them, and how do you try to build up their enthusiasm for such a niche thing as skateboarding?
Right. So everybody's goal is different. What I focus on is trying to help them reach their goal if they know they have one. So the ages, for example, my youngest students are like 2.5, and my oldest students would be like 49.
Oh
So,
wow.
so a 49-year-old obviously is not somebody that's looking to just run around and play, but rather somebody that set a goal in their head that they want to accomplish something cool and physical and challenging at that age after maybe overcoming some other difficulties in life. So that will enable me to go on ahead and help them build up, the same as with kids, build up their self-esteem and their confidence and give them the tips on the skills so that they could accomplish their goal. So the age, 1 to 99 or 100 is cool. um,
Okay.
I mostly focus on young children. So I'm a certified vendor for the Department of Education.
Great.
And yeah, and here in I live in Queens, by the way. I forgot to mention, you asked the borough in the beginning. We're in Queens. Get the money. We out here.
Okay. Queen, stand up. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. And so mostly kids, and with them I focus, like, skateboarding is so cool. The kids are going to learn it easily because they want to do cool things and they want to have fun, right? But
Yes,
what I focus on is behind the scenes, like personal growth, character development, self-esteem, confidence. What is fear? What is bravery? What is courage? Work ethic. So I came to this game much older, and not having somebody to tell me these things when I was younger in my life,
hmm
I learned just how important it was to get that across to as many children as I can, where you have somebody here that could guide you, you have somebody here that believes in you, that will support you. Because some of us don't have that in our own homes.
of course. And I think, the skating community is so unique because it started as a very underground thing, a very misunderstood thing, especially here in New York City, with famous locations like the Banks and other places. It really started, from the outside, and people really didn't understand it. But now, with it being in the Olympics and street league competitions, people are trying to embrace it more and more every year. So, how does it feel to live in this time in the skating culture with Steve Rodriguez bringing back the Banks, and a lot more homegrown skate events happening organically? How do you feel where Max Led Youth is positioned?
Yeah. I'm real excited about where skateboarding is at. As a business, I can't speak because I don't sell skateboards or skateboarding product.
Uh huh.
I'm dealing with parents and children. But I'm real excited about where skateboarding is. There's no more boxes of what is cool, what is not cool, what you can do and what you can't. So
Yes.
it's a lot more inclusive, and just anybody and everybody is welcome. We don't care your age, we don't care anything about that. We just care about the fact that you're finding passion in this challenge that you're putting on yourself of learning to get good with this useless wooden toy, and because you want to and you have that determination. When it comes to what I'm doing with MaxLed Youth,
Yes.
I mean, I have dreams and aspirations, and those would fall all the way into, Queens having its own indoor skate park that could be deeded and left long after I'm gone, for example, and let my son run it. And so that Queens would always have somewhere for these kids to go.
Absolutely.
I feel like Queens, it needs a little bit more, I wouldn't say representation, because Queens definitely has our icons and our legends. But regarding, like, there's the least amount of events are in Queens.
Mm,
There is no indoor skate park where you could skate in Queens.
I see.
There's not a lot of locations and such. So as an adult, I feel like the more I could show all these children around me that are isolated from those environments, the more that I could bring new skaters into skateboarding and be an advocate for skateboarding, and also, strengthen and back up and support these great character building skills,
Yes.
the working hard, the dealing with failure, the controlling your emotions. That's what I really strongly focus on.
Absolutely. With so much, good faith behind Max Led Youth, and you having a clear vision. I want to give you a moment to talk about some of the success stories or some of the feedback from the parents that you're getting in real time of how your lessons that you're teaching on this on the in the skating world is helping children and families in the child's personal life. Like, have you had those conversations with parents, like, you know oh, Adam is, more confident now that he's, learning from you. Like, can you just like speak to the results that Maxillid Youth has had since its inception?
Yes, absolutely. So every child is different, and every child's progress and their personal growth is different and very personal to each. Some children can be very shy and introverted and not be comfortable speaking to others or speaking up when they're spoken to. Others can be too loud, and you need to learn when to quiet them down.
Yes.
And these character strengths and weaknesses that I find, this is what I focus on. So, for example, I've had children that, I mean, Tyrese, just to be clear, so I work with special needs kids as well.
Yes,
So, to that extreme, I could tell you that I've worked with children that wouldn't look people in the eye, much less hold their hands.
I see.
And, there's no feeling like when I'm teaching this kid how to skateboard and he's grabbing onto my thumbs and we're going, and I look to the side and mom is just bawling because she can't believe her child not only is looking at me, but is holding my hands and she's tripping out, like, how is that
Yeah,
possible?
and really for such an isolated child to build trust and a person that's a non-family member.
Right. And actually, that's a very strong strength. So one thing I try to convey to parents is that, you could tell them the right thing to do until you're blue in the face, but because your mom or dad, they may not listen to you. You're not cool. You're not hip. But I could say the same exact thing to that same exact child, and because I'm skate coach Max, flipping my board around, they'll listen to me. So I'm able to reinforce the parents also give me the insight on the children, like, hey, my child's very reactionary. He's acting, he's super sensitive, and I want him to be a little tougher and be able to deal with life. Life isn't always pretty.
Yes.
And I'm like, okay, so then I can focus in on that. So the first time the kid falls and hits the ground hard, he's going to want to break out and cry. And that's where I go on ahead and get in real close and teach him about how he controls his emotions and how he does not have to react to whatever happens. He chooses how he wants to react to whatever happens.
Absolutely, and I think the choosing of the reacting and knowing how to settle emotions is a big character building trait in the skating community. Because if you're trying to do a back tailspin off the stairs and you miss, you have to know how to settle yourself, pick up your board, pick up yourself, and go back and try it again and keep trying it. So I
Yeah.
think skating is one of the best things or sports to build that resiliency within anybody. So
Yeah, absolutely. And you can't go fall on the ground and cry. This is skateboarding. Nobody's
yes,
going to listen to that. You're going to get up, dust yourself off, and keep chugging away at your goal. And that's what makes it beautiful. We're all
yes,
chasing our own personal goals, and we're bleeding and sweating and sacrificing for it, from the littlest ones to the oldest ones.
of course. And I think with skating, you're competing against yourself.
Yeah.
There's unless you're a highly competitive, skateboard contest skater. Other than that, if you're just your average day, pick up your board and go to the park skater, you're really trying to be better than you was the day before. So really waking up and setting out, okay, let me try to work on these 5 things, let me master these things, and then add 5 more. I think that's the biggest thing as well.
Yes, absolutely. One of the things I tell the parents is when these kids are on these skateboards, remember, I came in at 39, so I came in fully grown. I've ran my construction business for almost 20 years. I've dealt with adults my whole life.
Yes.
Uh, and what I try to tell them is, listen, these kids are experiencing a lifetime of experience 100 times a day. When they get on the skateboard, they have an idea, they go for it, they fail, they fall, it sucked, it hurt, they get back up, they try again, they do something different, it works, they succeed. Like, we go through that in life maybe 10 times in our life if we're lucky, that we try something and see if it works, whether that be
Hmm.
a business, a podcast, a YouTube channel, anything. I mean, there's
Yeah.
so many things that we do.
Yes.
And they're going through this multiple times a day. It's really priceless to see the kids evolve. And one of the things that, if I could stress to the whole world out there, is to especially all you skateboarders, is let's not forget that one of our great granddaddies of skateboarding, Mr. Rodney Mullen, was pretty much an autistic kid skateboarding under a roof and a piece of concrete at 2 in the morning. Okay, and that's our OG great
Yes.
grandfather of skateboarding and all of the tricks that we know, so on and so forth. And that came from somebody who is slightly on the spectrum. I'm sure we could argue.
Yes, but even with Mr. Mullen, he's great in his own way, just like every individual skater has their thing. Whether you are a vert skater, you do switch transition, everybody has their niche, and I think that's one of the great things with skateboarding is that you can have so many subcultures, and then when you combine it with the rap and the hip hop, or the rock and roll influence, and you bring in music and pop culture into it, I think everybody's able to get a piece of the whole pie.
Absolutely, 150%, man. Nobody's excluded. We're in a great place in skateboarding. Everybody's welcome, young, old. Get out there, find somebody out to help you, get on a board, and it's going to help you feel pretty good.
Absolutely. I want to touch on because you started skating at a later age, um and I know teaching, while teaching anything is rewarding, it must also have its challenges. So, being an instructor, when you are facing those challenging days, or when things that you are implementing in private are not translating in real time with the kids, or you have one student that needs a little bit more love or attention, or approach in a different way, like what do you tell yourself going into a day, or what do you try to allow younger Max, or um a skater Max know? Okay, I tell myself this before I leave out every morning, and I try to always remind myself of this one or two specific things.
Right. So I mean, when things get down to those kind of life decisions and the way you carry yourself and you wanting to develop a certain character trait,
Yes.
um, um, yeah, it's real important. Like a long, long, long time ago, I came up from one of the worst neighborhoods in Miami. Our family didn't have a pot to piss in.
Uh-huh.
We were dirt poor. I was playing in the streets at a young age.
Hmm.
And um, one of the things I would say is when you come down to these decisions, just break it down to the smallest, most granular level. It's gonna end up at one side or the other. It's either gonna be a good thing and feel good and positive, or it's gonna be a bad thing.
Yeah.
And a little secret to all the kids out there is the good thing is always gonna take a little bit more work and a little bit more sacrifice, but that's why it's the good thing. The bad thing and the other thing is easy to be mad, easy to spew hate, easy to be violent. But being able to be compassionate and show empathy and support is just so valuable. You don't know how you're affecting the people around you. So if you know, every child is different, but basically try to be a good human and stand behind love and support, and you can't go wrong that way because that's what you're going to have around you, and that's what you're going to admit, love and support.
Yes. And I think you are not only trying to work on that with your students, but also being a father as well, having young ones you're trying to raise in this world and build up their confidence. This whole journey must be eye-opening on all levels, professional and personal. So
Absolutely. I've been married for 24 years. I have two children. One of them is 22 years old. He graduated from St. John's University about a year ago and just landed his first job with iHeartRadio, and he's super excited, finally living his career and his dream. And my youngest son is 15 years old, and he's in 10th grade in high school. And each of them have their own different challenges, but my older son, this skateboarding pretty much changed his life. It got him to speak out. It got him out of his shell. He started making friends. He started to be able to interact with people. Like children nowadays are very isolated. When all of your interaction comes from within a screen, a phone, a computer, a game, or a tab, you're just not interacting with the real world anymore. And you put, 5, 6 years of time into that, and you start not knowing how to interact with the real world anymore and get out there and live your life, you know.
Absolutely. And I think, I think skateboarding is still one of those things that's never really changed because there's always a neighborhood somewhere, there's always a group of friends, and there's always, like you said, this curiosity to try new things.
Yeah. And you don't need anything. You need the skateboard and your environment, right? So it's very minimal. You don't need 10 other people on your team.
Mhm.
I could tell you the countless number of kids that I encountered that just do not do well in team sports. You could say whatever you want to say, but they just may not like two, three kids inside that thing, and they don't want to be around those kids.
Yes.
And those kids that don't fit into these big team sports, whether it be because they're quiet, whether it be because they're too smart for their own good and they realize those three kids are douchebags, whatever the case may be, they deserve a space as well where they could express themselves, be heard, and, be able to be who they want to be. Skateboarding does a good job of that. You don't have to be a jock. You don't got to fit into any circles or squares. You could just be yourself, you know?
Yes, absolutely. Um, with all of the success that Max Led Youth has had on the community and the impact that you've had personally on these students and families' lives, when did you get the idea to have this skate bash and this skating
Uh,
contest? I just want you to just go straight in from when you decided, okay, now's the time. I want to do this for the community. Like, how did
yeah.
this all come about? Speak about, if you can speak about the sponsors, like, what do you hope the community gets out of this?
Right. So, like everything in my skate life, Tyrese, everything has happened absolutely organically. I have not planned anything out. I haven't planned my trajectory. I didn't plan to be teaching kids how to skateboard. I didn't plan to, struggle to become a vendor with the Department of Education. None of these things were planned, just like this event was not planned. This event was a thought that I was having inside for quite some time, and I spoke it out loud to my friend Nolan Lee from Pal Skateboards and from InstaRamp. And when I spoke it out loud to myself, I was like, man, wouldn't it be cool, man, if I could like throw an event in Queens and be able to give back to the Queens community? Like they never do nothing in Queens for these kids, man. And Nolan turned and looked at me. He goes, yo, do it. I got your back. New York State of Mind's got your back. Rodney Torres got your back. What are you waiting for, man? Do it. And I was like, you think so, Nolan? And he's like, I don't think so, man. You can do it. And that organically grew immediately into 5 or 6 people that strongly support what I do. People that have witnessed the work that I do with the kids realize, okay, this guy's not just babysitting and playing around with the kids. He's doing one-on-one lessons because he's really getting through to these kids. Like, we're helping develop their character and their own person. And that led to this event, and those 5 sponsors turned into 28 or 29 sponsors at the moment.
Wow.
I mean, it's absolutely stacked. From Toro Skateboards, Toro NYC, Substance Skate Park has been supporting me for so long. New York State of Mind has been supporting me without me even realizing who they were early on when they were offering their support and I was too embarrassed. And years later, they come through and I mean, they let me know who they are. Brett Stein, you're amazing. And I love all your support for the community and I love seeing your gear all around everywhere. But I mean, from Etnies, Bones, X Games, New York City, their league just got involved as well. Go Sports, Ray Mendez.
Oh, wow.
My God, there's so many. Protec, Hazel Skateboards.
Nice.
Uh, all right, so I don't just chat on and chat on. I want to just get through and say, um, uh, the Queensboro Bash is going to happen June 13th at MaxLedYouth Skate Park in Flushing Meadow, Corona Park. It's going to be an all-day thing. So from 9 to 6, I'm going to start the music up at 9 in the morning. And, I'm going to start having a great day. There's going to be skate contests and tons and tons and tons of product, all donated by these great sponsors. Um, in the midday, we're going to have a live breakdancing performance done by the Dynasty Breakdancing crew. So they're going to do a choreographed show, and then they're going to do a freestyle breakdance battle. And what I'm trying to encapsulate here is hip hop in its truest forms. So hip hop was created in order for kids in inner cities and kids that didn't have any options, whether they be work or education, to find a way to be able to do something in which they could survive. And those things came within music, art, and dancing. And I want to really try to incorporate that in this event that I'm throwing. So there will be a lot of cool music and hip hop being played. There will be a breakdancing crew, and I'm trying to lock down the way that I can incorporate the street art, which is the artistic side of hip hop, right? You got the music, the dancing, and the art. And with any one of those three skills, a child can make it out of the most diverse situations and earn a living and be able to put a dollar in his pocket and survive just from his skill and his creativity. So it's kind of like a background theme of this event is kind of showing Queens culture and how hip hop affected Queens and how Queens affects hip hop as well. You know.
Absolutely. How was it building relationships with so many brands and having so many, different sets of dialogue? Like, were you blown away? Like, did you ever like say to yourself in this process leading up to this great event, like, wow, I can't believe this actually materialized?
Yes, all the time, and nothing was forced. So I read up a very generic thing. My name is Max Suarez. You know, I run MaxLedYouth, where I do this, that, and the third. Would you like to be a part of it? And those that knew already, that witnessed what I do, there was very little hesitation. So it grew very quickly. Other people which did not are not aware of skateboarding, like the Lemon Ice King of Corona, they're giving me a whole tub of shaved ice. This place is iconic for anybody in Queens. They know who the Lemon Ice King of Corona is. And then I have to kind of like, educate them on exactly what I'm doing and why I'm doing it, and the whole the whole reason for this all started because I wanted to give back to all the kids in Queens and the families in Queens. And this is the way that I felt that I could do that and reach the most people possible. You know, it's a free event. There's going to be free food. There's going to be free drinks. Arizona iced tea is going to be out there. I'm locking down Lucia's Pizza. If they could give me a hard yes, if they can make all them pizzas that day, which is another icon in Queens. So very Queen centric, and I'm just trying to give back to the community, man. If just for a day, and if we could do it once a year, that would be absolutely amazing.
Absolutely. One question I like to always ask in my interview, well, two questions actually. I always like to ask in my interview during this process. Um, if you could go back when you were 39 years old, just thinking about getting on a board, not even thinking about being an instructor. If you could go back and I had a metaphorical time machine, um um during this process, where would you go back to, and what would future Max tell his past self about where he is now?
Oh man, that's a good question. Um, because because I came to it in at such a older age, I was a well-established adult. Like I've been living on my own for a very long time. As I said, I've been married for 24 years. I put one kid through St. John's University. So I had the whole adult thing pretty much on lock. Um, I suffered an accident through my construction company. And in that accident, I fell 25 feet with no shoes on. I was in my socks and I landed on cement. So my heel bones on my feet, both of them got destroyed. The one on my left foot got broken into 3 complete breaks, and the one on my right foot got broken into 5 complete breaks. So I
Wow.
literally dusted them, is what the doctor told me. And when I started being able to walk again, I was very limited. So I can no longer play basketball like I used to play basketball. I can no longer do the 6-mile runs on Saturdays because if I did that, I could not walk for 3 days afterwards from the pain. So
Mm.
all of a sudden, I found skateboarding through a client giving me a skateboard for my kids because their kid were done with it. And here, let your kids play with this thing. And I was able to pop an ollie. And
Mhm.
that was it. So, regarding like if I could do something different, I don't know that I would change anything from the way it's happened. Because everything has been founded and been done for the right reasons. So it's all been trying to spread love and support to to everybody and anybody that could use it. So I wouldn't change anything. Everything has grown organically from Max-led youth to this event, which I never would have thought I'd be doing an event like this. It's going to be a beautiful thing. I'm blown away by the love and support from all the sponsors and the skateboarding community in general. They're absolutely amazing. They're killing it, and I love that they see my vibe and they know what I'm trying to do and they support that. So I wouldn't change anything, man. I think this has been the ride I've been supposed to take this whole time. And if that ends
Yeah.
up being a skateboarding advocate for these young kids, then that's what I'll be. Call me what you will, but I'm gonna keep following those good feelings and smiles and love as I continue on.
Absolutely. Another question I always love to ask in every interview, I always like to do this thing called fill in the blank. So I'll give you a sentence, and then I want you to just fill in the blank with whatever emotion or word that instantly comes to mind. Like, don't think, just like let the thought flow. Skating makes me feel blank.
Happy.
That's wonderful. Is it happy because you're able to put so many smiles on faces, or are you more happy with the journey that you've been on?
It makes me feel happy. So I don't know if it's just the neuroplasticity going on in your brain when you're skateboarding. I don't know if it's the physical tie to your brain when you're skateboarding or just the action of moving forward very fast. It just makes me feel good when the wind's hitting my face or when I'm flying over a trash can or something. It just feels good, you know.
Absolutely. Since you are the first member of the skating community that I've done an interview for the YouTube channel, I cannot end the interview without asking Max Suarez, who are your five, top five skaters, and what tricks are some of your favorite tricks? And if you've ever had any favorite skate parts, like from any of the Alien tapes or photosynthesis, like can you just tell me, like what era of the skate culture do you appreciate, and who are your idols in the skate community?
Right. So unfortunately that I'm old and I'm not completely up on all of the history like my friends of my age are. But let's see, let's try to break it down. First with your real hard one, Tyrese, which is like top five. Like there's so many top fives, but just thinking off the top of my head, I would have to say Day One Song for his skill, his manuals, his control. The man is limitless. I cannot say a top five without not having Rodney Mullen right next to Daywan. He's the man that we could thank for all of the tricks that we're still doing to this day. And then I got special favorites like John Cardiel. And
Mm,
Cardiel to me, just the stoke, the energy, the way he just went for it. That was so motivating, and I was very impressed by Cardiel always. Um, then I could jump into Andy Anderson, which is more of today's age.
okay, okay.
I absolutely love Andy. He could wear that helmet until he's 60 for all I care. The man is an absolute beast. His
Yes.
consistency is unbelievable, and his creativity and the melting of the three pillars of skateboarding, whether it be, transition, street, freestyle, the melting of all of that together is truly special. And I think we're seeing a generational icon, just like Rodney Mullen or Tony Hawk was back in the day. We're seeing it real live with Andy Anderson skateboarding right now. And then
Absolutely.
if I had to pick one last one, geez, see, it gets hard when you start trying to narrow things down. You know what? I'm just gonna give a shout out to my boy. Rodney Torres of Toro Skateboards. Thank you, my G, for everything you've done for Queens, for everything you've done for New York City skateboarding. We appreciate you, my G. There's top five. Video wise, Tyrese, I love the classics. So for me, classics, Fully Flared is a video I cannot get
Yeah.
enough of. You know, um, uh, uh, the full length movie of We Are Blood. I could
Ooh,
watch that
good
like
one.
endlessly. I could watch that endlessly. When I see them go to China and all these people are like, "What is this?" and they're like, "It's skateboarding." It's like, you know, it was pretty epic. And then a bunch of other videos. Say the P Rod videos, the Me Myself and I's. Uh,
Yes.
the old videos like Video Days. Like how crazy. I saw that as an adult, and I'm like, oh my god, they died. So, that was pretty cool too. Did I cover it? Was there another part of that question?
No, I think you answered everything great. I will say I don't necessarily have a top five either, but I'll just tell you what era I started.
Mhm.
Learning about. So I grew up in the 2010s. So that was like I grew up in the like my childhood was like late 2000s, early 2010s. So that was the Paul Rodriguez's. That
Uh,
was the that was the Terry Kennedy's. That was the Antoine Dixon's, so I really got introduced to skating through some of the biggest names of that era. And then I think one of the coolest things that happened in my childhood for my love of skating was Rob Deerdeck's Fantasy Factory. Like
mm,
I other kids ran home to watch cartoons. I used to run home to watch MTV and Rob Deerdeck. So I wouldn't be a skate fan without an influential person like him. And just to see how he's built a business beyond skating, and now he's instrumental in so many other ways. I think I hold those years of my childhood so near and dear to my heart because I remember my older brother and cousins being the only people on our block in Brownsville building like half pipes and ramps and like trying things and like them trying to rig up a skateboard on my wheelchair and push me, like those memories will just be ingrained in me. So
nice. Did you grow up in a rough neighborhood or
um
fairly okay or
I grew up in Brownsville, East New York, and
okay?
as you know, Brownsville
Rough.
has its good parts and bad parts. But I would say for the most part, where we grew up, it was pretty. It was like a good neighborhood. Everybody knew everybody's parents. Everybody knew the kids. Watch kids go to college.
Yeah,
Interacted with the neighbors, very respectful. So
yeah, because it's weird.
we
It,
grew up.
it's Yeah,
Yes.
it's weird when you grow up in the rough neighborhoods because some things are just stigmatized and looked at differently. And just for a black person on a skateboard in the black community, they're like, "Why you playing with that white boy surfy shit, man? Like, what you doing, man?"
Exactly. And
Yeah,
then like it was the first time people learned about Kid Robot or DGK. So I got my cousins repping DGK, and other kids is like, who? What the heck is DGK? Like that. Then we had to educate them on Stevie Williams, and we actually were able to get more kids into skating just based on the culture and the grittiness that we resonated with.
yeah, yeah. And to touch back on the Rob Dyrdek and the Fantasy Factory. I was not skating when that was out, and I would watch that stuff all the time because this guy's creativeness and the fun that he was having, I was like, oh my God, what a dream to live your life. Just thinking about how much fun can I have today, and what the hell do I feel like doing today? I mean,
Yes.
you can't buy that kind of creativeness. That was a special moment and I wasn't even skateboarding, so I didn't even understand the tie with skateboarding, but there's always been these little hints through my life like, oh my god, that was skateboarding. Oh my god, that was skateboarding.
Yes. And then another, because I know you touched on like video part stuff. One of the one of the fondest memories I have is my cousin Gary showing me the JP lad
Oh,
uh
PJ Dad.
yeah PJ lad, and just watching him, and it's like, what the fuck am I like? Like it was so awesome to me. Like, those were the moments that I wish I didn't have a disability, because all I wanted to do was just go out there and try whatever he was doing. So, I'm just so grateful for everything. And, I'm grateful to be a journalist in such a melting pot of a sports community where I could connect with meaningful people like you to tell your story and share your journey. So I just want to thank you for all that you do from the bottom of my heart. And,
Thank
thank you
you.
for always supporting my articles and whatever I'm doing to help any parts of the sports community. I just want to give you a moment to again shout out anybody you would like to shout out. And then also, can you give people a contact email or a point of contact if they want to donate their free time or services to magnify the skating event?
Sure. So the name of the skateboarding event is the Queensboro Bash. I made some nice banners, but you can find it all on my Instagram and everything else. And if you want to learn more about me or what I do, you can go to maxledyouth.com. That's MaxLedYouth.com. And there you could find more insights on me, more testimonials, and feedback on what it is exactly that I do. If you're interested in the event or being a sponsor of it, I could always use help. You could find the information about the event. I created an entire website just for the event, and it's queensborobash.com, and that's BORO for borough. So queensborobash.com. And we created an entire website where you could see what we're doing, why we're doing it, everything that the contest divisions and where it's at. You could register, sign your waiver. I tried to give as much information and make it as self-explanatory as possible. And if you want to be a part of it, if you want to reach out to me on a more personal note, you could email me at maxledyouth@gmail.com, and I'll gladly get back to you. And if you'd like to be a part of the Queensboro Bash, I could still use help. I would love for somebody to be able to come through and fund and put some money on top of these contests that these kids are winning, just to spice it up and help the more hesh dudes be able to get some bucks in their pockets, from skateboarding, because without them, we wouldn't have what we have right now.
Yes. Um, um, would you like to give any last minute shout outs to people you didn't get to mention on the first go around?
If I'm gonna shout people out, I'll start with my wife and my kids, and then I could jump to Rodney Torres of Toro Skateboards. I could spawn off to Nolan Lee of Instaramp, Andrew Gels of Substance Skate Park, Brett Stein of New York State of Mind. These people have been core in supporting me when I'm just an old man pushing a piece of wood, and they've supported me from day one, way before I dreamt of doing an event. From Bones Bearing to Miracle Magnum at Opus, all of your guys' advice has been priceless to me, and I want to thank everybody that's helping me make this event a success. And like I said, man, I'm not gonna stop until I try to get Mamdani out there. So Mamdani,
Yes.
come on through. Let's have a blast together. Come represent for Queens. But I'm gonna keep pushing, Tyrese, as far as I can.
Absolutely. Mayor Mondani, if you're watching this, reach out to Max. We would love to see you at the Queensboro Skate Bash. Max, once again, thank you for your time. I hope you stop by the channel in the near future, and keep keep skating, keep inspiring, and just keep smiling, Max. Thank you for everything.
Thank you, Tyrese. I'll see y'all June 13th at the Queensboro Bash in Flushing Meadows Park. I love you, Tyrese. Thank you for everything you do, sir.
Love you as well. Thank you for everything.